Subscribe to the Marcus Lee Stephenson Show today.
Welcome to the Marcus Lee Stephenson Show. And tonight we have the Honorable Judge Ashlei with the EI. And we have my two co-hosts, Linda and Angie, at the end. And before we dive into it, we're just going to take a moment and just thank Judge for honoring us to even have the time to come on the show, especially during election time. We know they are extremely busy. So, again, we're blessed to have her. So, Judge, let's talk.
Okay.
So, for me, I'm not in the political stuff like that, so I don't know. Why a judge? Why an attorney? What made you come into this field?
Well, it was coming into the field was almost me coming into a purpose that turned into an unintentional ministry. My mom told me when I was in high school that I see you being a lawyer. And because I was rebellious, I was like, no, I'm not going to be a lawyer.
Not me.
I was going to school to be a pharmacist. And then that plan got derailed by two hurricanes when I was in undergrad.
Okay.
And I was taking an elective that wasn't in my major, so a non-major elective, and it was in accounting. And I had to drop those specialty medical classes for pre-pharmacy, and I got stuck in business, and I ended up liking it. And then I took a business law course, and I was hooked. So Mom had it right.
Okay.
Wow. Hey, y'all see this, right? Everybody heard degree, college, whether we wanted to go or not. So I just had to throw that in. Now, what college you went to?
I went to Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas, because that's where I'm from. And I started pre-pharmacy, and then I ended up in business.
Okay.
And about my junior year, I had a child when I was 19, so I was pregnant when I graduated high school.
Okay.
And that changed the trajectory of where I thought I was going in life. So I ended up immediately enrolling in summer school. So I wouldn't miss a semester, and I went to Lamar and got a bachelor's in business. And then my junior year, tragically, my daughter's father died when she was 3.
Okay.
And I almost didn't graduate. But I had a professor. He said, at some point, you got to take your finals and get it together. So I did.
That.
And I almost didn't graduate, but somehow I ended up enrolling early in an MBA program and taking dispute resolution class. And the attorney that was teaching that class said, you're really good at this.
Oh, wow.
I want you to come work for me.
Yeah.
And I said, I just took the LSAT and I'm going to law school. He's like, that's fabulous. So I had to go back around and tell my mom, you were right. And that's on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
But yes, that's kind of how that happened. Okay. And my dad, very wise man, I went to a private school in Beaumont. It's now called Legacy. And I didn't understand why I was going. I was picked on, I was different. I wanted to go where to public school, where the neighborhood kids went, my cousins and my family. And I was called the N-word in like 5th grade and ended up getting in fights. And I was like, why am I going to school and y'all wasting y'all money and we're not even rich? So what are we doing here? And my dad told me, Ashlei, whatever you're going through now, if you wait until you're an adult to have an emotional reaction about this, it's going to be too late.
Wow.
It's going to be too late to have an emotional reaction. And he was absolutely right, even though I had no idea where my life was going at that time.
Man, that's deep.
It was. It still hits me.
Yeah.
Because I can visualize his face when he said it. And I was probably about 13 years old, and it just impacted me. So I may not have always done what I was told, but I was always an independent thinker.
Yeah, you knew what was right.
I absolutely knew what was right and was wrong.
Yeah.
And my mom would say, if Ashlei did it, it's because she wanted to. She may have talked to other people into doing it, but it wasn't peer pressure.
Wow.
But it's that ability to think independently and understand that you're doing this for a reason. And I just started, after my daughter's father died, I started walking through open doors because I changed my perspective on things and how I wanted to live a life that was guided in principle and some foundation, because it's already hard being a parent. And then when you're a single parent, maybe you'll have some help. But when you're the only parent, that hits different.
It does.
It hits different.
It
Yeah,
does.
you got me speechless now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Angie take this one.
Well, he said that because, I mean, I've been in your shoes and am in your shoes. So I was widowed, and my children were, my oldest was 7, and I had 4 children. So so I understand. It really causes you to sober up, if you will. And as I always say, put your big girl panties
Absolutely.
on to ensure that, because you're not living for yourself at that moment.
Right.
You're really living for your children, and all of the dreams that you had together as a couple now, the weight of that falls on you in some regard.
There's an
And so you
anxiety
picked
about
it.
being a parent anyway.
Yes.
As soon as you have them, it's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Then you realize nobody really knows what they're doing. You just kind of figure it out as you go and hope you don't mess it up. But you want to make as little mistakes as possible. However, some things are beyond your control, and you're like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And that was really the toughest time of my life.
And what I realized is, you know, for single parents, by choice, chance, or circumstance, you're here.
That's
Now
right.
what?
Now what?
You know, now what? And so that, I think, is what that kept me going and waking up every morning, is that realize, okay, this is my circumstance, but I'm not the only one. I'm not the first, and I'm not the last.
That's right.
So let's just pull it together.
It takes a village for real.
It does.
It really
It
does. And
does.
I was blessed to have my parents there to help me.
And Ashlei, you said yesterday that you had a testimony. So tell us a little bit about what God has brought you through to bring you to where you are now.
Well, that was part of it. But I really understand the family courts and the family law system. And what I didn't realize is everything was in preparation for the moment that I'm here now. Everything that you
Right.
go through in life really does prepare you for the next step. Because had I not gotten into those fights when I was in middle school and been called those names, and my parents advocating for me when I almost got expelled when someone attacked me, I wouldn't be able to present the way I do now. And I went on and got other degrees and got letters behind my name because that allowed me to get in the room. But it has nothing to do with my qualifications and what God and life prepared me for.
Right.
So, child support, I lived it. There's something that happens to you with grief as well. And I got married my first semester of law school. I don't really recommend that. It's a lot of transition there. But I did get married, and then within a month, I got sued by the paternal grandparents in family court.
Wow.
While I'm in Louisiana, going to the Southern University Law Center. It was a wonderful place.
Yeah.
But that was something else. It blindsided me. I didn't see it coming. I'm in Louisiana. This lawsuit is in Baton Rouge. I'm in Louisiana and Baton Rouge, and this lawsuit is in Beaumont. And I got to travel back and forth in my first year of law school. And that was very hard. On me, it was hard on my child. It was hard on my marriage. And it was hard on my parents. And I now understand, even though it was very hard and a very emotional process for everybody that's involved, I learned that grief will do something to you. And during that process, a lot of ugly stuff happened. CPS investigated me for alleged neglect and abuse. And I'm in a whole nother state.
And you going to school
I'm going to school.
to be something better.
Correct.
Wow.
So when I say I understand the process, I lived it. I've been through it. And I did the work. Not only did I live it, but I came back and did the work. And then I got divorced. And that was a whole nother process in and of itself. So when you have people coming through your court, or you decide to take on a case as a litigator, or give a ruling as a judge, you got to look at different circumstances. And I had no idea that every single heartache, every single tragedy in life was preparing me to launch this. Even becoming a municipal court judge, I didn't think I was going to like it. I never wanted to campaign or become political because I understand how tough it is. I've been out there in the streets. It's about to be freezing outside this weekend, and I remember putting those signs and hammering the stakes in the ground before early voting in the frozen ground. Dallas County is a huge county. And I'm like, wow, it takes a lot of mental muscle and physical muscle. And I couldn't have done it had I not lived through those experiences.
That's good. I mean, you're showing your strength, and through how low you was at that point, with everything coming against you from the in-laws and then the marriage. It's just this takes a toll.
It's not really a story that I've been able to share because it is a part of your personal life, and it makes you be vulnerable, and this being in the public and sharing that, you want people to understand I can relate to this. I've lived it. I don't look like what I've been through. And when I make a decision, it's coming from a place of love and support, compassion and community, but also want to stay in the confines of the law.
So what would people, your voters, what can they get from you when they vote for you?
They're going to get a judge that's going to be accessible. I'm going to have an open courtroom. That means you can come in and you can ask questions. You can see what's going on if it's a public proceeding. And I'm also going to stay involved in the community. I love the community. I love my people. One of the things that I grew up going to was cultural and economic seminars that my dad's company would put on. And it taught me the value of not only my own heritage, but also the value of the Black dollar and keeping that in the community as long as possible. So there's different layers of depth to me that you may not get on the first impression, but I want people to understand that I was the first person in my family to graduate from college.
Wow.
I'm not far removed from the community, and I want to pour back into the community the things that I have learned, and I want you to have those resources without having to pay a lawyer to find it out. Not everybody has the internet. Not everybody can Google stuff.
True.
That's true.
So what can I do to provide this for you? And that was that service aspect of it, because if I would have known some things, I would have made different choices. Sometimes we're limited by our exposure and our experiences. And if we let only those two things guide us, we're set up for failure sometimes.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. So when I was the president of the Black Bar Association of Dallas, which is the J. Turner Legal Association, I was the president back in 2018 and 2022. In 2018, I brought those resources back to the community. At Beckley Sainer Park, we did a community event where we provided expunction non-disclosure information to people. We did basic estate planning, health screening, constitutional know your rights. We had candidates and elected officials come out, and we gave them information on the family court system. So it's always been that component of service and just reaching back out, because I wish I had those resources, or I wish I knew where I could direct somebody to. So my heart has always been with the community, and that's really how I just ended up here. I just, like I said, started walking through those open doors.
Yeah, I know about the
It's
open
a
doors.
calling.
Yeah.
It's a calling, and
It
it starts hitting differently.
Yeah.
And you can feel like you're meant to do something, but your timing is wrong, and then the whole thing is wrong if you don't get the timing right.
That's right.
And this time it was just different. It felt different in my spirit, And the way God moved things out of the way and allowed this process to happen this way, no matter what happens, I'm learning something through it, and I wouldn't take anything for the experience.
Love it. Man, that's deep. I like that. I'm going to vote for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I like that. Man.
Yeah, I just think about your experience and then you as a mediator.
Yeah.
You know, all of those years as a mediator, how did that impact how you interacted with the parties that were involved?
So it made you solution focused. As a litigator, I've done a lot of court cases and tried a lot of cases, and you are an advocate and you want to argue those cases. As a mediator, what people don't understand, the majority of cases in family law settle. They don't go to trial. Because there a lot of times it's court ordered or required for you to go to mediation. But when you're solutions focused, you enter the room with a different perspective, saying, hey, we're going to leave everything on the table here. We're going to come here with an open mind to come up with something that you can live with at the end of the day. That is not imposed by the court. Whatever you guys agree to, that's what we're going to do, and it's going to be binding, and the judge can't overturn it except in very rare circumstances. So make sure you can live with this. The alternative is you have to go before the court and they're going to tell you what to do, and you may not like that at all.
Wow. Yeah, someone would be like, nope.
So do you foresee, as a judge in the court, having to find balance with impartiality, or
Well,
as you approach the cases?
so we all have to check our own implicit bias. And I want to impose mechanisms for that. We don't always understand what makes us tick or what guides our bias to go one way or the other. It could be a personal experience that I may have had that would have me only be focused on one aspect of the case that's presented before me. But that's when I got to take a mental break and be like, it's not about me. It's about the people that's before me. It's about the law, which is black and white, and it's about the facts of this case. How can I apply the law to these facts to make an impartial decision that is not just justice at its core, but it's also humane?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. And I know you mentioned earlier that you have a heart for people because you know what it's like to be filtered through the system. And so you want to make sure that everybody's treated with fairness and dignity. In addition to having a heart for people, what are some of the core qualifications that you believe a family court judge must embody?
Well, for one thing, you've got to like what you're doing. We can all go to law school. If you get into law school and you graduate and you sit for the bar exam and you pass the exam and you become a licensed attorney, you are technically qualified.
Yeah, I like that.
Whether you're good at it or not depends on your personality. It depends on how much you invest in yourself. And it depends on whether or not you want to practice. And when I say practice, I use the term loosely because we call it the practice of law, because there's no bright line rule. We have continuing legal education that we must do. Are you going to be the bare minimum, or are you going to exceed? And I've been one of those people that when I found my stride, I realized that I'm very studious. And the state of Texas, I believe they require you to get 15 hours of continuing legal education and 3 hours of credit a year. I get
45 or so, didn't you?
over 60.
60.
So for the last 10 years, not only have I gone to conferences and prepared myself in areas of family law and beyond, because I also do a lot of estate administration and probate work, because that stuff is very interrelated. If you practice it, learning them both it's a lot, but it's worth it to know how the ins and outs of family cases end up in probate and vice versa. However, it's getting that certification from the Texas Bar College means that I've excelled beyond the qualifications, that the minimum requirements. And sometimes I'm fortunate enough to speak at events and continuing education events. And then I got rated by super lawyers in both probate and family law. So that's a peer review, and that's an honor.
Oh, that's,
that
yeah.
I don't advertise
Congratulations
my
on that.
services.
Yeah.
It's always been referral.
Yeah.
I have a referral-based service from either other lawyers or past clients or other people that have known me through the community. So that in and of itself is
Says a
an
lot.
honor.
Right.
And I've litigated in both state and federal court, and it has been, some of the cases I've had have been, they have been heartwarming.
Yeah.
Some of them have been very difficult, and some of them have really boosted my career. Some of the people that I've been able to represent and just to get in those rooms.
Yeah.
It
Is
really
there
raises
any-
your confidence level.
Is there any one that you can remember that really solidified in you that this is it?
Not necessarily a one, but there was a point in time in October of 2016, I finalized my divorce. And it was very hard I had a vision of what I wanted to do in my career, and it wasn't to continue to work for somebody else. It's always to be in a space that was, my vision was Black-owned woman law firm. And that ended up happening. When I got laid off from, I was doing pre-foreclosure and bankruptcy for a holdings company. When I got laid off from that, I found, or I say she found me, Audrey Moorhead, and I started working at the law offices of Audrey Moorhead. And she's like, can you do discovery? I was like, yeah, I think so. She's like, here, I don't want to do family anymore. And that was my introduction, like sink or swim
Yeah.
into it. And she's like, I like you. And then she became a judge, and then I started having separation anxiety because I had to start my own firm. And, but no, that was another process. But in 2016, when I got divorced in October, it takes a lot to start a practice and to be your own face in marketing and calling card and that entrepreneurial spirit. It's scary.
It is.
But in January of 2017, I had my first federal trial. I was on the trial team
Wow.
for Steve Harvey. That was my first
I
federal
remember that
trial.
one.
I had to get sworn in to do it.
major.
It was major. And I thought back, I could not have done this if I was still married. And that's no slight on my ex-husband.
Right.
But I would not have been able to accept that opportunity. And that's when it impacted me. Okay, stay true to yourself. If something is propelling you to do something,
Do it.
bet on yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
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 That's inspirational.
It is.
So let me ask you this, like, and you just kind of mentioned some of it, but for, we'll say, family court or just in a court, people that's going through divorce with a child, what could they expect or could not expect? Because I tell people, I have friends that's going through divorce, who've been divorced. I say it's, in the beginning it's nice. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to split, we're going to be amicable. As the weeks process, daggers are thrown. So how would you handle something like that?
Well, it can happen, and it does happen occasionally. I'm my own example. We figured it out at a restaurant. We got in the back room 4 or 5 hours, 4 or 5 courses later, a bottle of wine or something, and we figured, like, we didn't go to court. We did it. But what you have to understand is at one point, you loved this person or you cared about them enough, and
At that
you
one point.
correct. The second thing is divorce is the death of a relationship.
Yes.
And you're going to go through all the stages of
Of
grief,
grief.
that
That's
part.
correct.
And if you understand that it's coming, it can better prepare you for it. And that's what I would tell my clients. And that's the type of compassionate justice that I plan to give from the bench.
Okay.
I like that
Yes.
compassionate justice. That's
Yeah.
a T-shirt.
Yes.
Put that on the
Yes.
T-shirt.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Wow. So I had a question now about some of the organizations that you're involved in, and one of them is the Dallas Women Lawyers Association. Why are you involved in that? What are you hoping? What opportunities are you hoping to create for other female lawyers?
So DWLA is a really good organization. that is all female empowerment. We are living in a world where DEI is a 4-letter word. And as a matter of fact, before I came here, there was a 75 or 74 page opinion from the Attorney General attacking DEI, saying that, we shouldn't have it. And I'm going to try to post it later so people can understand what that means and how far back that takes us. Not just Black people, Hispanic people, marginalized or disenfranchised groups, but everybody. If you are basically not a white man that owns property, that's how bad it's getting. And I want people to see that. So if there's an organization that I can connect with, that can inspire me and uplift a group of people, I don't care what color, what nationality, race, religion, or creed. I want to be involved in it because I want to make positive impact and change in the communities that I'm in.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, that's good. I mean, you're like a community leader as well.
It's all by God's design, but also it was so unintentional. It just happened. But I'm so grateful for it because I really found a stride that I love. I really love people. I was sitting down with a friend today, waiting on another friend to come for a small birthday lunch. And she inspired me. She's like, I'm really proud of you. You found your I see how being social feeds your spirit. And she really blessed me because I'm like, it does. Feeding into other people feeds back into me. And if I can continue that, I'm like, oh, that's a good little 360.
It's
Yes.
an adrenaline rush,
Because
isn't it?
when I tell you, I was so nervous about filing, and I was like, oh, Lord, I'm going to have to quit this job, this part-time gig that I love, because the people at that municipal court are so wonderful. And there's so many people who have gone on from that municipal court to become state district court judges, appellate judges.
Wow.
It really is
It's a
sense
training
of,
ground.
It's not just a training ground, it tests your integrity and your intestinal fortitude to see if you have what it takes to stay in the community, because that is a very community-focused court.
Yeah.
Most of the people are pro se. A lot of the people don't have a lot of resources. We have diversion programs, juvenile programs, community courts, drug courts, veteran courts. So all of those things, urban rehab, demolition dockets, code enforcement, all of that stuff happens at the municipal level that people are not even aware of. It's not just traffic tickets, y'all. And when you see people being able to go to work again, to get a driver's license, to save their home, to be able to get their warrants erased and not have to go to jail,
Yeah, that's a big
that
relief
means a
off of them.
lot to them.
Yes.
And they're like,
Yes.
Judge, can I just hug you? Or I appreciate that.
Yeah.
One particular case that I remember that happened recently in juvenile is there's a lot of non-English speaking people that come through juvenile court, and this young man was there and his father was there through the interpreter. To qualify for these diversion programs, the youth has to be current in school.
Okay.
You can't have too many absences.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And so they were talking to the prosecutor, and something just kind of told me, look into this a little bit. So I asked him to approach, and I asked what was going on, why he wasn't in school. And the father said through the interpreter that he was being bullied. Now, bullying, where I come from, it turned into fisticuffs sometimes.
Yeah.
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 Bullying now is different. So I said, well,
is.
what do you mean by that? And young Hispanic guy, he said he goes to particular high school and his friend was murdered. That's not bullying, y'all. That's why he was scared to go back to school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was enrolling in another school, and so I was like, we're going to fix this.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you didn't ask the question, if you didn't see something,
Yeah.
if I would have just went with the prosecutor's recommendation, to me, that's what a judge is. We sit high and elevated by those two steps, not because we're more superior, it's that we can get a better picture of what's going on.
Better view.
Yes, yes.
I
Yeah,
like
we had
that.
the honor of going to Judge Sandra Jackson's
Yes.
office and seeing what it looks like when you open that door and go up those steps and look out. And that was one of the questions I asked her. What do you feel? What do you feel when you open that door and walk into the chambers and take your seat, put on your robe and take the seat. What goes through your mind when you think about the weight of that?
Well, I didn't think about the gravity of it from a perspective of how do I feel. It's all about what can I do for the people that's coming in the courtroom. It's never about the judge. It never is. Even from a position on how we're getting paid, it's the people that pay us. So I'm here to serve it broadens the level of service. That's why it's so important that you stay active in your communities. I'm a big proponent of that.
Have you ever had we'll say a rude person to come in, you have to say, come back, kind of do a reschedule?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had people carried out with spit masks, chairs.
They get like that?
Yes, I've had clients, the elevator doors open and both sides come out and it's fisticuffs, they're fighting. You see it all.
At the courthouse?
At the courthouse, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought it was just like TV.
No,
thing.
it happens. It happens. I've had people, it happens. Some of the stories it's insane. Yeah.
It almost sounds like people have lost faith in the family court system. What would you say to that? What would you say to them?
I want to say please don't end up on World Star because that's how some of the hallways be looking sometimes. But give us a chance. We're human too. And I'm asking that you vote for me and let me earn your trust. If you've had a bad experience, I hope it's never before me. But the law is what the law is. And I have to work in the boundaries of that. But I'm going to try to be as fair, as equal, as impartial as I possibly can be, because everybody deserves to have a fair shake. And I really have a heart for our Black fathers.
Yeah.
I believe that there are more good fathers out there than bad.
I agree.
And whenever you have somebody who wants to ostracize or exile the other parent, I'm reminding them of what is, at least you have somebody to call. You're going to need that respite. You're going to need to get somebody to help you. And let the child decide whether or not their experience is going to be the same as yours. Because a romantic relationship is nothing like the parent-child relationship.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to take a quick commercial and then we're going to come back on that topic.
Okay.
Because that's a deep, true topic.
There are moments that define a year and nights that define a legacy. On April 25th, 2026, the red carpet leads to something greater. Welcome to the reinvented Awards Gala, a night of purpose, community, and celebration. Join us in Arlington, Texas, as we honor some extraordinary individuals who made a powerful impact in their communities during 2025. Hosted by the legendary Vicki Winans, this elegant evening brings together leaders, visionaries, and change makers for a night you will never forget. From powerful stories to unforgettable moments, the reinvented Awards Gala is more than an event, it's a movement. Tickets are on sale now. Don't wait. You don't want to miss this gala. Visit www.marcusleestephenson.com and secure your tickets today. The Reinvented Awards Gala, because transformation deserves to be celebrated.
Okay, we are back with the Marcus Lee Stephenson Show, and as promised, we're going to get a little bit deeper on what Judge Ashlei was just discussing. So, yeah, I like the fact when you mentioned there are a lot of good fathers out there that had drugged through the court system for whatever reasons, and I was one of them, so, but I used to say, I'm always a dad. When you go to court, I said, look, it's about my kids. Well, you didn't send the child support money in time. Well, my kids called me and said they was hungry, they needed this right now, so you mean wait 2-3 weeks before they can get it, or feed them now, or it was like giving, they always called it a gift. If they didn't come through the system, it was a gift. So I'm like, man, this is crazy, but it's been time. I mean, I honestly went to jail behind it, because when my kids needed stuff, I said, well, I got to go get it for my kids. They needed some stuff, and I just said, well, I tossed it up. Okay, got out. What you gonna do? Well, I'd do it again if my kids my kids came first. You know, everybody know I'm crazy about my kids. And so, I mean, as they got older, they always knew Dad was always there. They never said my daddy was not there.
They
I
figured it
I
out.
was a present dad.
Yeah.
You know, now their mom, you know, she's, you know, the mom. But when the kids got older, they said, Dad, everything Mom said about you was a lie.
Yeah.
You always been there. You always done this. I used to pay child support, buy groceries, buy everything on top of child support. I didn't ask for credit for it because I was doing what I was supposed to do as a father. So I appreciate you saying that for fathers out there who been through my story.
Yes.
We had wrote a book called Still Dad After Divorce.
Yeah.
And working on one called Still Mom After Divorce. Because there are moms in the same situation.
Correct.
That the fathers may have custody of them, but the father is bad-mouthing the mom. And the mom just like, I just want a chance.
Right.
You know, to raise my kid. So yeah, it's deep, and I'm glad you brought that up.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
A lot of court orders will have in there a warning and an injunction that means don't do this, saying don't disparage the other parent. Well, we're human and we talk, and we all know that that's just words on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on in that home.
Right.
But I will say, if you do not make disparaging remarks against the other parent or the other grandparent, or the other auntie, or whatever your situation may be, they figure it out. The children figure it out. They really do. And they form their own opinions. And if you don't try to influence it for them, they'll appreciate it later.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah, that's how my mom, she's long gone now, but she used to always say growing up, I think when I had my first child, she said, never talk bad about the other. The
That's
kids will
right.
figure out on their own.
That's right.
And I was like, times I wanted to, but I didn't. I said what Mama said,
Yeah.
you know, and to this day, it's like they figured it out.
They figure it out. They really do.
Are you tempted to take sides at times when you're
No,
going?
I don't think so. Well, maybe what do you mean by sides?
When there's a battle or a dispute between the husband and wife, or if there's a court case, custody involved, do you, human emotion, does that allow you to, or attempt you to
Well, the
take
main
sides?
focus is the child. It's the best interest of the child, and what's going to be the most stable and safe, nurturing environment for that child at that age. And you make decisions from that. So again, it's not about my experience or how I wish things would have happened in my own personal life. It's about this particular set of facts and what's going to be the best outcome for this child or
Right.
children.
You have to remain unbiased regardless and stick with the law.
Yeah, you do. You do. And it's possible. It really is. And you just stay focused on that selflessness. It's not about me. This is a service position, and I don't know what all is going on in this home or what this child is going through. So I'm going to listen to either what the person or their attorney is saying and make a decision from there.
Because I've seen cases where they have the mediators, or they let the child go stay with the aunt or uncle until the parents get it together. Said the child's not going with mom, not going with dad, it's going with pawpaw or granny
Yeah.
and then when y'all go to granny house to see your child, but a mediator will be there because they have to take classes.
Parenting
Yeah,
classes?
yeah, parenting classes
Yeah.
all over again, because they were like, and then when they come to a decision, like, wait a minute, we was acting a fool for no reason.
For no reason.
Because they was mad at each other, not the child.
Correct. So when I
And-
put my mediator hat on, I asked them, before you sign this piece of paper, or before I go back in there and counter this proposal, are you going to be happy with this a year from now? Because that's a lot of driving back and forth. You want to move all the way to the other side of the county.
Yeah.
Traffic is crazy, y'all.
Exactly.
So that's what I wanted to ask, like, what, from your perspective, are some of the biggest challenges that you see facing families? And is there a way for you to speak to that or address it from your role as a judge?
We have a lot of healing to do, just as a community as a whole. There's so much distrust. And if you're coming into a court proceeding from that perspective, because everybody that I have ever met has been impacted some way by some judicial system. It's likely going to be criminal or family.
Okay.
That's the main ones that people are most impacted. So if you come in there from a level of distrust, you're not going to think anything is fair. And let's face it, no one's coming into family court for the most part because they're having a good day. Somebody's going to leave with their life having to start over from some points. And you've got to pick that up, and you've got to figure out, how can I go on from here? You can't keep the same house or the same living environment. You're going to have to make some adjustments. And you got to learn to live with that. You cannot have it all. So I think that is, some of that can be on the court to train, but as an attorney, I tell that to my clients. And they may not like hearing it, but they respect me for it because I'm going to be honest with them. I'll advocate for you when I'm in that courtroom, but when we're behind these doors, I'm going to tell you, I think from a human level, you need to consider this. Now, if you want to pay me to go do that, that's my job. And most of the time they come back and they think about it and they sleep on it. They pray on it, meditate, whatever it is that they do, and they get it together and we settle. We do. Yeah.
That's good.
Do
That's
you
amazing.
find that they're influenced by social media and friends?
Social media, reality TV, their aunties, cousins, and them.
All that.
You know, my girlfriend got a divorce and it wasn't all that, or so and so did that. I'm like, you don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Yeah.
You really, really don't. And even though every case has its own set of facts, generally you can issue spot. The issues are the same. And there was one young brother I had as a client years ago, and his baby mama was mad at him, and she was a new mother. They were both new parents, and he went in the house and told her he cheated on her. And I said, my man, you selfish? And he thought I was saying it because he cheated. I said it because he told her. Because this is a postpartum woman, and you came and told her something that she would not have known. Not that it's right, not that I condone it, but bro, you brought this on yourself. Because now she will never look at you the same. Because you had to unburden yourself and tell her. Because she wasn't giving you attention because we have a new baby in the house. And she's stuck in that house all day trying to do whatever new mothers do, and you come home because she's no longer giving you attention, or the circumstances in the house changes, and her emotional reaction barking at you when you walk in the door led you to do another emotional reaction that she will never forget. And that is a thing that's a thing a lot of people do out of immaturity. Young 20s, and it happens. If he didn't tell her, would they be together? I don't know. He shouldn't have done it. But how do you know to communicate that? If you've never been taught, if the father's not in the home, you don't know women and men express their emotional challenges differently. He's doing it because he just wanted some type of release from the circumstances in the home. She's barking at him, yelling and crying because she wants some type of emotional release to share the frustrations and the questions that she's going through. So y'all are both emotionally frustrated, but you play it out differently. And now she's mad and she'll never look at you the same. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. It's deep.
Wow.
And I believe,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe Marcus is getting ready to wrap things up.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, let people know how to get in touch with you, vote for you, and just give them again why they need to vote for you.
Okay. Well, my name is Ashlei Gradney, and I am running for the 330th Family District Court of Dallas County, Texas. You can find me on Instagram at Gradney, 4 Judge. That's ASHLEI, 4. I said that wrong. I'm spelling my name. So on Facebook, it's ASHLEI, Gradney, Ashlei Gradney. On Instagram is Gradney 4 Judge, Gradney, 4 Judge. And my website is gradneyforjudge.com. You should vote for me because I'm going to continue to serve the people and the citizens of Dallas County. Remember to get out there and vote early. Early voting is February 17th through 27th. Election Day is March 3rd. Be sure you check your precinct, because on Election Day, you have to vote in your precinct. So I advise you go out there and you vote early.
Yes, exactly. And on that note, next week, be sure you tune in. I got my friend, my buddy, Big Cam. He's a model for Kim Kardashian's Skim line. Big brother, cool brother. He models. He's I think
First
a
plus
director.
to be
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Vogue magazine.
yeah. On Gold magazine.
Vogue.
You just gotta tune in. He's that dude. Big guy, but smooth with it. So yeah. So we'll talk to y'all then. Enjoy. Subscribe to the show, Marcus Lee Stephenson Show on YouTube. Can't miss it. Talk to you then. Bye.